All right, what's up guys? As you can see, I am back in the United States. Please click here if you just want to start the video. Click here if you want to watch the debrief of the video. The interview starts here. The debrief starts here. Anyway, I'm just gonna have a few thoughts before the interview starts. I feel extremely lucky that I was able to connect with Trond Henriksen for this interview. Yeah, Trond was a fantastic guy. He showed up on time. He took the time to speak with me, and there was a massive language barrier. And I do want to state this. So before I get into it, I knew that I had no idea his level of English, okay? And for me, my level of Norwegian is not fluent, right? It's definitely not fluent. Instead of me trying to prep a however long interview of it in Norwegian, I was told that he was comfortable enough to do it in English. But one of the caveats, or someone told me, was that I should make sure that I'm speaking slow. Because if any language that you don't have that isn't your native tongue, it's you hear the words, but then you got to go back in your mind and really think about what they mean. You're gonna see me talking really slow with a lot of pauses. There's this content creator I watch. I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head, but he goes to multiple different countries and speaks their native tongue. And one thing I heard him say was that if you're speaking English, but if you're using their accent, they may be able to understand words better. So you're gonna see me talking a little bit, out of character. Like how I'm talking now is definitely not how I'm sounding or talking during the interview. So please keep that in mind as I made sure to make long pauses between words as well as use an accent. So it may sound like I'm unprepared, and that's sort of the vibe that I got when I was rewatching this stuff. I was like, man, I sound like I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I promise you, I did a lot of research on this guy. There's a lot more questions that I wanted to ask, but I did not have a tripod filming this. I actually had my brother film this. So he was sitting there scrunched up like this for an hour, and I could tell he was getting really tired. So he had actually set aside 2 hours to speak to me. So if I would have known that, I probably would have figure something out on that end. Okay, one other thing that I wanted to talk about is the video. If you watch till the end, you're gonna notice some possible disparities in the captions. And so when I was writing the captions at first, maybe Trond, wasn't saying, the specific, present or past tense. So I was trying to fix it around so it was as coherent as possible. And then midway through, I'm thinking, why am I changing what he's saying? It should be accurately what he's saying. And so I think you'll see a combination of me writing, the correct grammar of how the sentences should be coming out of his mouth. And then sort of later, I just, took his words as what they are. Because at the end of the day, that's what he said. And so I didn't want to change the words that he was saying. So you may see some stuff where he says something and the captions are, the correct grammar, and then some of it where it's just him saying what he said. So I just wanted to state that. But yeah, let's get into the video. I highly recommend that you guys get past at least 4 minutes. 4 minutes is sort of that hump of the start of the interview where we're just introducing, you maybe see some nerves and stuff like that, but I think it's good to get past that because it gets immediately into the nitty and gritty of some of the massive crime things that Trond got into and what, media and headlines, why they had called him the most dangerous man in Norway. So without further ado, this interview is Trond Henriksen. He was at one point known as Norway's most dangerous man. Let's get into the interview. Guys, we have Trond Henriksen. I may have you introduce yourself, but I'm very excited and I'm very happy that you're taking the time to sit down and talk to me. But yeah, if you'd just like to introduce yourself.
Yes, I can do that. I'm 59 years old. I'm living in Halden. It's a little town in Norway, about over from Oslo. But I'm from Oslo. That's important to say. So I'm born there. I have been 13 years in prison. I've been using drugs for over 30 years. Have done a lot of stupid things in my life. Today I work in Church City Mission, and that's an organization that works for people in this town. We are giving out food and take care of people. that's really short about me.
Yeah, no, 100%. Before I'm sitting here, but before I'm talking to you, I had read a lot about you, and I think it'd be good to start at the beginning. So I'd love to, just ask you, how was your experience growing up in Oslo as a kid?
Uh, I'm coming from a very poor family. We don't have much money. My mother come from north of Norway in the 60s to search the happiness in Oslo. And I was growing up in the east end of Oslo. And it was difficult where we live, a lot of alcohol, a lot of drugs. So I was growing up with a lot of problems around me. But in school it was going well too. I was going to the fourth class. Then I was ill. I'm away from the school for a half years. Sick, was sick, and I come back to the school. They have started the English, and that was new for me. And when I was started to read the English, and all in the class was started out, and I feel a lot about that. So I start to drop out from the school, and then I couldn't go on the school. Then I go to the city, and I found a lot of another young people with the same problems, with alcohol and drugs home or problem with the school. So I was growing up in the steps in also Central Station, really down there. So and then we start with, of course, with drugs. I was 12 years. First time I tried to smoke cannabis. But the beginning was not important for me. The drugs, the most important thing was to be in the level with another guys, the gang.
Yeah.
I had to do a lot of crime things and to get the accept for in the gang then. So we starting with stealing a lot of cars. I love cars, so we steal lots of cars. And after a while, I was very young. First time I was in prison, I was 14 years and 3 weeks. So I've been one of the youngest people, I think, been in prison in Norway. Now it's 15 years, but in 70s there was 14 years. They limit to come into the prison, and then the snowball is started all around. More drugs, more crime. So I have been in prison for 13 years. I've done a lot of stupid things, from rob banks to kidnap police officers. Yeah, so a lot of stupid things.
Yeah. Can I go back to what you first said about being accepted into gangs? You said when you dropped out of school, you were hanging around the Oslo Central Station, which for people listening, that is sort of like the train station, and that's where you met these people who were in gangs. You said to get accepted into the gangs or to get to the level of these people, you had to steal cars. Was that the main thing? Was stealing cars?
In the beginning, yes. Absolutely.
What was the way that you were taught how to steal cars? Were you taught, or did you have to learn it?
I learned to steal cars. There was a competition, how fast you could steal a car. I think the record is 13 seconds, I remember. For Granada, is it's an old car now then. But there was a competition, and of course the most important was to drive from police. We could drive to the police house and just waiting for them. Because for 40 years, since the police cars in Norway was only Volvo, all Volvo.
Oh.
Yeah, we could steal a Porsche 600 or something really fast. So that was most important thing to drive from police. Then you get big status in the gang. Then. Yeah, so we're starting with this. After a while, the drugs took more and more place in my life. Starting with cannabis, marijuana. This thing was easy, and then more amphetamine, and to the end then heroin. So I was using heroin in 20 years. we was 12 people who start with heroin, and now it's only me and one more back. So the rest is overdose. And,
Oh man.
yeah. So I'm lucky that I can talk to you today.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm very happy you're here, and you're doing a lot of um good works.
Yeah, now I'm doing a lot of good work, but I have cost the society about 150 million Norwegian kroner. What is that about? That's about over $10 million, I think.
15.
Mhm. About all this shitty thing from being in prison to crashing hundreds of cars. Uh, yeah. So I have cost the society a lot of money. So this is my way to pay a little bit back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I work with, this is one thing I work with to give people food, but the most important thing I do is work with the young people who is drop out from the school.
Yeah.
I'm very, very, I think that is the most important thing we have to work with, that the young people have to be on the school or out in job, don't take this same stupid choices that I have done. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Are we able to talk about sort of some of this stuff, being in the gangs and then prison, and then a lot of your different works towards the end? I want to. You said something earlier. I want to touch on. You said being, you were the youngest person who was served time in an adult prison. And I read an article that said that you had said, or someone had said, that this was like school to you because you were so young. So what was it like, being 14 and going to an adult prison? I'm sure you were scared, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on how that was, if you could relive that for us.
I was really scared first time, absolutely, because I had seen a lot of American movies, where you have not, it's dangerous to go in the shower, I was always thinking about to be, all these things. My first experience in the prison was, that was only for 6 days, the first day I was in prison, but I will never forget that, because I come in there young and was getting in a cell with a crazy man. But a little bit later, another prisoner come in and kick him out and take care of me. But for me, prison was a school of crime. I learned a lot about crime in the prison. Absolutely,
Really?
yeah, absolutely. I was a mascot, I was really young. I was a child.
Uh-huh.
So they take care of me, the older guys in the inmates. They take care of me, but I was, of course, sitting like this. And when you are in prison, they, of course, talk about what they have done and what they shall do when they come out. So I was just sitting there and, oh, wow, what's happened now? So for me, it was absolutely a school to be inside there. So I learned a lot of things to be in prison. So when I come out, I want to try, especially to take money safes.
Money safes?
Yeah, I was really hooked on money safes. So I learned to blow them up with the dynamite from the older guys. So in the beginning, from I was 15, 16 to 20, I was very a lot around in Norway to open these money safes. That was, yeah.
I have a question on that. It's when you it's different when someone's talking to you and you're learning, oh, this is how you break a safe, but then you get out of jail. Number one, how do you find dynamite? I mean, you're still young, right? How do you choose the bank or the right safe to steal, and how do you get away safely? You can hear it and think you know it, but when you do it, it can be very different. So how did you do it? I think you're just a very smart guy.
I'm very dangerous, of course. Dynamite is really special things, So I have blown up some shops, and it's lucky that I can sit here because a friend of mine, they was taking a money safe in the house of a collector, coin collector. And they blow up this money safe, but they take the wrong one. And inside this money safe was dynamite, So they blow up whole the house, and they was on the hospital for 3 months. They don't hear anything. So when police come to try to ask them what's happened, they don't hear anything. So they survive, and that's only luck, So we I learned really fast that you have respect for this thing because. But this was in beginning of 80s. You know, the dynamite was where you're building roads. Was a lot of them in these containers. You know, it's not anymore like that.
Yeah.
You know, but for 40 years ago, it was much easier to get this kind of stuff. But we have to learn and do a lot of wrong thing also. But you know, we get experience over the years, and we was better and better to take also really heavy saves after a while. So, but we are lucky. I think I'm lucky that I'm here today because there was sometimes was really close to go really wrong, you know.
I read something online that being so young, you know, you said that the first drug you had tried was cannabis or marijuana, but you had tried new stuff when you got into prison. In the United States, it's you know, it happens. People get drugs into jails. Was it very easy to get drugs into jails in Norway or in Oslo?
Absolutely. I think that's quite same thing in US and here. Yes, I try heroin for first time in prison. Yes. So and a lot of people starting with new drugs inside. You know, you are nothing to do, and it's easy when my friend come and say, "Hey, I have some amphetamine," or a lot of people is only using cannabis, starting with amphetamine and other things in prison.
Being that you were so young, how were you not taken care of? You said earlier that you were so young that all the guys, they tried to teach you many things, say, oh, this is what I did, that was bad, here are the drugs I did, but it sounds like you were not taken advantage of at all. But
no, I didn't, and for me it was I think it was difficult when you was so young. You know, you have to say goodbye to the school, to your family, everything. I don't have anything, another thing in disguise. This was my friend. And when you was getting out from the prison, it's not so easy. I think a lot of people out there thinking, oh, you have just to quit for the stupid things, but it's not so easy. You know, then you have to have new friends. I think that's most important for us all to have people around us, and it's not so easy just to go out in society and say, hey, I'm an old bank robber, you would like to be friend with me? They just escape everyone.
yeah.
So it's not so easy. So the drug is one thing, you know, but all the friends around it, I think that's maybe the most important thing.
What was your first day out of prison like when you had served your third?
Was to go back to Central Station with my friends. Yes, with the bag, this prison bag with all the clothes inside, and go down and say hello. And maybe the same evening it was out on the crime time again. So going very fast. Sometimes in my youth I was released from the prison 12 o'clock, and I was back in the prison day after, you know. Because then you maybe stealing 3-4 cars and was catching
in one day?
Yeah, yes. I was 21 days over 14 the first time I was in prison. On these 21 days I was stealing 45 cars. So I told you I love cars.
Yeah.
But we crash, you know, 14 years you are not so good to drive cars. I teach myself, and we teach ourselves with. So we have cost a lot of money with all these cars, I think.
What was your favorite car to steal? Was it one that you looked for that was easier, or did you look for the specific person? Like if it was an older person, maybe it was easier to steal, or you just saw some car you liked and you stole it?
Yeah, I think we have Ford Granada Golf GTI was a very good car. We love, of course, Porsche, but there was not so many of them.
Yeah.
But you know, this it was fast cars. We don't steal a Skoda or these. They have to be really quality.
Yeah.
You have to be faster than the police car.
Faster than the Volvo.
And they drive around just in Volvo 240. But no, the police have really fast cars. So, but in the 80s they have these Volvos, so it was very easy to drive from them.
Yeah, that's interesting. Is there? Did you ever steal a car with someone in it, or
No,
they were empty cars?
no, but I steal a car from the Norwegian strongest man one time. And we was the police take us, and I was in the arrest, and then I heard him outside. He was so angry, and he said, "I have to go to the cell to beat up this guy." Oh, sorry, I have to turn off.
No, you're okay. You're okay.
Yeah. So that was lucky that I don't beat that guy,
Yeah.
So sorry. I have to,
No, it's okay.
I have to take off the sound. But we was very upset of these fast cars. I think Porsche is my favorite, and we was of course driving very fast. I remember a friend who was driving 260 kilometers in Norway, and that was really fast in 1980s. We don't have roads for that anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of my friends also died in these car crashes.
Oh no.
A lot of them have died there. In this, so again, happy that I can sit here with you.
Yeah. When you would steal cars, would it just be you, or would it be many friends at once? Because you said that it was a competition to see who could steal and break into the cars the fastest.
We could be two guys in one car, but we could be a gang who go out. One time it was in the harbor, in also where the new BMW was coming in, without the signs, completely new cars to hundreds of thousands. And one time we were 15, 16 people, and we stealing 7, 8 of these cars. Without sign, we just driving there. Also, but often we was maybe one car, 2 cars.
Would you just steal them to drive them around, or did you try and sell the cars, or?
Not selling the cars.
Yeah.
We could use them as a tools to drive, for example, to the north, to do on these rides, to get into the office, use them to, when you rob a bank, for example, you need a car. So we use them, sometimes, of course, we just drive around to have it fun, but also often to use them as tools in other crimes.
Interesting. How many times do you think you have tried to rob a bank or did rob a bank?
I can say no. I can see I've robbed 3 banks and 1 post office, and that's a kind of another crime. I don't like that kind of crime, because then you are. We often use this, the real guns. We use plastic guns because we was really scared to hurt another people. But other people, they don't know that it's a fake gun.
Yeah.
I don't like that kind of crime because then you are in contact with another people. I don't was that kind of guy, I love doing a lot of violence thing in my life, but I'm not really a violence man. I don't like that. So I like that to go night time up. Climb up, no, I'm too fast to climb up this thing, but before we was climbing in, not in the private houses, offices. For me it was very important to go into private homes. So we go to companies, with the big money saves, and hope towards money inside.
So when you found a safe, you can't carry it because it's so heavy, right?
Yeah.
So you have to blow it up or use some methods to break in and take?
Yeah, correct.
So besides dynamite, what were some other methods you used to open safes?
Skjærebrenner, what's that name for it?
Crowbar?
The gas.
Carrot.
Huh?
Yeah, like cutter. You see
The gas cutter, you know. Cut,
Oh, glass cutter, yeah.
not the glass.
It's a saw?
No, the gas skärvene is.
with propane or gas that they use. You see that blue flame?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What is that called?
Yeah, well, yeah. What is that for that?
I don't know. A blowtorch?
Yeah, maybe it's
Sort of like a.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. I'll look it up.
He tried
I
to
think,
find out.
yeah. But
Yeah.
that, so you would carry that. That's pretty
Yeah,
big. That's
and that I learned in school, you know, in the mechanic.
In school?
Yeah, then you learn this using this.
Yeah.
It's kind of the pencil. So I think we were more often that using this, and of course another iron tools. If it was easy on the set, then you don't need to use that kind of tools. But on heavy ones, you have to use dynamite or this cutting
yeah.
machine.
Did I know you were young when you joined the gang, but the more you did these things, did you rise up in power? So were you at one point forced to do some of these things, or?
Yes, the most important thing in the gang was, of course, when it was taken off the police, to don't snitch anyone. That, of course, the most important thing. Don't snitch was real, you know, and I think it's the same in the US.
Yeah.
Same everywhere.
Yeah. Don't snitch.
So don't say anything. So that's the first you learn, and of course, the more crazy thing you do, the higher you come on this stage, you know. So and of course, when that was an accident when they kidnapped this police officer, because we had escaped from the prison for 100 days, and we just meet these guys on the night, and we thought they're gonna rob us. So then I had the rig, and so then I would just take this out and then take it on the floor, and he say, "Oh, I'm a police officer," and then I know, fuck no, this is bad. So we took them up in the mountain and just kicked them out there. So,
In the mountain?
yeah.
So you held him captive, drove up to the mountain, and kicked him
with the police car.
with the police car.
We take his police car and drive him up, and then the day after we was on all the news, front of the newspaper, you know, and television in the news. That was really heavy. That was heavy shit. So
I think that was the newspaper I saw, because it had your face on it.
Yes.
So how did they know it was you and not the other gang?
no, because they was looking for us, you know. This policeman had even have a picture of us in the pocket, so he know everything about us. But he don't see us when we come. We thought he maybe was another one, but we thought he gonna rob us. So we just, because he had this big light, you know, this light, light. So I thought he was going to club us down. And then I take the pistol out and say, lay down. And then when he was down, he say, "Oh, I'm a police officer." So then me and my friend, we was thinking, what are we going to do now? So we drive this police car up in the mountain. So, and we was thinking, what shall we do with them, you know? It was him and this boat car down with the harbor. So we couldn't put them around a tree, you know, then they could die up there. So we drive up in the mountain, and then we release them there. So they have maybe about 1 hour to walk to the come to people. And we drive fast away with this police car in the mountain and try to hide ourselves. And but that was heavy.
Yeah. Did you ever rise, do you think, to the top of your gang at one point? I mean, that sounds like that was a crazy thing that you would have done to rise to the top.
Yeah, especially in this case, because then the newspaper said this is one of the Norwegian most dangerous man, you know. And that was really shit for my family, you know, especially my mother. She stopped to read the newspaper after that. But for the people around, of course, you rise up on the top then when you are. But a lot of my friends, they have never seen me as a Norwegian most dangerous man, and I feel that's, but you know, that's media, that's newspapers.
Yeah.
To give it a punch, and I have even today when I talk to media or another, they still using it, you know, this
This name, this title. Yeah.
this headline, still use this headline.
Yeah.
So I can be a little bit tired of that. But I never kill anybody. I have there's a lot of people in Norway that is much danger than me. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't sound like even when you're talking about the past that you were ever proud of any of this.
No, I'm not proud of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Even in the moment, you weren't proud?
no, yeah, when I was younger, in the beginning maybe, but when I look back to all these things I've done, you know, I have big shame for, especially for my family, especially for my mother, who have always been there for me, you know, in prison when I was visit me every week in prison. She was home and police come with machine guns, you know, and tried to catch me. My mom was home, not me. So she had paid a lot for all that thing I've done in my life. And that's a big shame, really. But now we have a good, of course, now my mother is really proud of what I'm doing. So I think it's important for me, but I was old before I really understand that the most important thing we have after the life is the freedom. You know, it's absolute. And I tell young people today we shouldn't gamble with the freedom. We shouldn't do that, of course. So now it's okay to work with this thing I'm doing today, because then I feel I could pay a little bit back to the society. You know, it's very important for me to do.
Yeah.
That. So then when I get old, I can say not all the years in prison have been. I can use it to something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Especially to the youth generation, you know, is about to choosing the same way as I have done.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are labeled as very dangerous in the United States, and maybe killed a lot of people. But I don't believe that they had a very loving mother. I think if someone had done some of the things similar or worse than you have done, the parents would not talk to them. So do you think that was very important for you to kind of change and see, and get you to the place of what you're doing now?
Yeah, absolutely. No mom is proud. My rest of family is proud of what I'm doing. So it's very important, and I'm really happy that she have been standing in all this shit I've done. Because a lot of parents don't want to do that, and I can understand that, because all this thing I've done can easily destroy a family, in a lot of ways. So I understand that when parents say, well, I have to take distance to you because what you are doing is really bad for all of us. So I can understand that. And my mom have been there, and I'm really happy for that. She never gave me up, and I think it's really special for the mothers, It's something special for them.
Yeah. I had read something in the news of, or some article that there was an incident of someone doing something very naughty to you when you were 12, and how you tried to track these people down and beat them. And I think it was older men who tried to find little boys to do naughty things. How would you find these people?
That was, I thought, I wrote a book in 2016. When I was writing this book, I think I have to be honest with that thing I was writing. And one of the things I wrote about was a secret I thought I would die with, And I was used for all the guys when I was 12 years old. It was a heavy situation. But after that, I will have a really big aggression against men, and especially this pedophilia people.
Yeah.
It's pedophile.
Yep. Yep.
So we was a gang. Especially in the central train central station was a lot of older men who tried to buy young guys then.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So then we can use. Our gang was not was the we was do crime thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was some of another. They don't do crime thing. They just sell themselves to older men. And sometimes we can cooperate, you know, that they can take this old man out to the harbor, then we can rob them or beat them or. So I had a big aggression to them I was up in the 20s, I think. And that was also, I do a lot, I think something was broken inside myself after that episode with this man who raped me when I was 12 years old. But I don't told about this is not what you're talking about to the gang, you know.
Yeah, no.
No. It's big between the bit and steal a car and do a lot of these things. So this was a secret I was sure I should die with.
Mm-hmm.
But when I write this book, I think it was important to be honest when I write about it. So,
Yeah.
Yes, I think still it's difficult to talk about, but a lot of the inmates have experience with this, be used of older men when he was young. A lot of them. I've seen that after I'm coming out. A lot of my old friends have also been honest with it. They have a search for this investigation they make a reporting in the US some years ago that you have 45 more chances to be drug addicted if you have been used when you're young or used for sexual missbruk.
It's interesting you said you would cooperate with other gangs. I think it's not common in the United States or maybe some other places where different gangs will cooperate to try and come together to make money or you know, find a common goal. So was that very normal to cooperate with other gangs? How did you make that relationship?
Not very normal. And you know, these guys was selling themselves. There was not really a gang, you know. There was lonely guys who don't like to do crime thing. But we have a lot of gangs around. Was not so often we cooperate. We was so I think it's really the same. And we was not so angry at each other.
Yeah.
We had an A and a B gang period of it, but in my gang we was down there, and we was. Sometimes I don't think we really was a gang. We was just a lot of guys, and we was there. And sometimes you could do crime with him, and next day you can use with another. So it was, but there was gangs in really organized gangs in Norway. But it was a little bit after I was older than. But they don't cooperate now.
No.
Just fighting each other, or just like in the US.
Yeah. I recently learned of the new prison in Halden. It's very progressive, where you know inmates have open doors. They can talk to the jail guards. They can make their food. They have activities like swimming and tennis, and it's a very interesting concept. I'm curious your opinion on that, and you know, people who are in jail. Do you think that that model of jail is better than the one you were in?
Yes, but we have that kind of prison in Norway, in Halden Fengsel.
Yeah.
Prison. They have about the same there.
Yeah.
I have been there, and I think that is a very good thing. I know some places in the US they have copied some of these models in Norway.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Halden Fengsel. And I think it's of course much better. It wasn't I have been in prison in Norway where you don't talk to the guards. You know? That's you don't do that.
Yeah.
but in Holland Facial, when I was there in 2010, that was a new prison.
Oh, so you've been to that
Yeah,
one,
I've
yeah.
been there. That was my last sentence for there in 2010, so it's 15 years ago. Um, there they have, you eat with the guards. You have, the kitchen was open. We make food there together. It was really different from another prison I've been in Norway, really. Um, but I think that was very good. You feel you're more like a human.
Yeah.
You know, when they more respect for you, and it's both ways. So I think it's better for all parts to have like that kind of models.
Yeah.
And I think, especially in the US, they have much to learn.
Yeah.
And I think because that what's happening in prison, that's also happened in society. So for everybody, it's important what kind of neighbor you would like to have when
Yeah.
you come out. In Norway, they come out, okay, in the US they can be there for 50, 100 years or a death sentence or whatever. But here they will come out after 10 years, 20 years. So the society have to ask what kind of people we want who's coming back. People who have been in isolate or people who can grow and learning something. You know?
Yeah. I don't think I clarified enough. So in Halden, Norway, they have what is known as the most progressive prison ever, and the name is the name of the prison in Halden is.
It's Halden prison.
Oh, it's just Halden prison. It's a very open model, and
Yeah, it's a high security prison, but with an open model inside.
yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's correct. And I think that's a good model that a lot of prisoners around in the world should copy. And I know we do it in some places in US. They are doing that with big success.
Yeah.
But you know, the mentality in US is maybe the most difficult thing to work with. You know, because
Yeah.
I think most of the American people say, okay, you should just throw him away or throw the key away or whatever, or give them maybe a bullet, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that the best solution for the society is that we're thinking how can prison be a place to make better people?
Yeah.
Not
Oh, yeah.
to make better people. But I think you still have a long way in the US to come there. But I see inspiring, and there is some people that work a lot with this, and I think US will be a better country if you copy some of these models.
Yeah.
You see also the crime in Norway is really low. As people who have been in prison and come back, and also in Holland is much. Better chance for the inmates to come out to get a good life. In many other countries where you just have a bad experience in the prison and you push people out and they will come back really fast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think this in America, a lot of the prisons and jails, it's a money-making organization for the people who own it, and that's very different from here.
Absolutely, I know that. I know a little bit of American practice there, where it's more commercial, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's horrible. So people, the U.S. has a lot to learn from Norway in that regard.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd like to talk a little bit more about what you're doing now, and how did you come up with this idea of trying to give back? From my understanding, what you said earlier, you said there's a lot of fees and money you had to pay due to the many different things that you did. But how did you first get the idea of trying to give back?
Yeah, it's not only an idea. I was first, when I come out from Holland prison, I was starting in Holland prison with this prison radio. It was starting inside there, and then when I come out there, then I get a job in the local radio. So that was my. I was working with radio for 4 years. It was fantastic, really fantastic. And the most important thing when you come out from the prison, it have to be some people outside there who give you a chance. That's what I think. Else you have no chance to get a life out there. So I was really lucky that somebody gave me this chance in Halden. So owner of this radio station, he said, "Trond, you have a nice voice. You can just say to the people in Halden that you have done a lot of stupid things, and they will forgive you." So I was 4 years there in the radio, and then a big company buy this radio station now. So I was quit and write my book, and then I don't have any work. So I was in this work office where they were looking for new jobs. And then somebody say that Church City Mission looking for somebody who could start the youth project here, and I was asking for that, and so I was starting like this for soon 10 years ago. I've been working here in 10 years. Wow! So that have been really nice trip. This 10 years, I've done a lot of things. So it's just start easy with you work with young people, and I was really lucky that I could be here to create a lot of things with this organization. So the old organization is 170 years old. So we are a lot of places around in Norway. So I'm really happy that I get that chance, and more. So I'm happy every morning I wake up. Then I can do. Now I work with to create new things. This was I use This was my dream for 5 years ago. It was starting as a dream. This was really destroyed area, and I collect 23 million kroner to fix it up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I thought a lot about that. I should do this before in my life. Then I maybe don't have been so much in the prison. So this is a nice building. Now it's using to all from to young people to seminars, everything. People have a wedding party, birthday parties. So it's using a lot. And it was living in this cafe. It was a very important place. And we also have a Skattekammer is the name of another we have over there. It's a free sport. We rent out free sports equipment.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. So we have a lot of things we are doing in Halden. So I'm happy that I'm happy in Halden. It's a small little town. I will get older here. Get old here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. What are some of the most important things that you tell kids who are young and getting into drugs, doing bad things, and dropping out of school? What's the most important thing that you could tell those people to help them break that bad habit?
It's not always what you tell them, but first you have to listen to them to understand them. What's in your life. But of course, I reckon them don't take the choice that I have done.
Yeah.
And then I think I have. They listen more to me maybe than you're doing to the teacher, or so I can say things to them on my way that's not a teacher will do. So I think I say of course I'm very that you can follow your dream, of course, I think, and it's not always. Sometimes it's the way to the dream is the most important thing. But everybody have something inside they can do. A lot of these people they are tired of school, and then we do another things. Okay, then we work a little bit, doing with sounds. Lights, we can work in the shops, then they can feel a little bit to work. So it's and of course it's very important that we have time to these young people. Time is very important. But in our world, things going faster and faster and faster. But here we can take it easy, Have to find himself, of course. That's important. Yeah. it depends on the situation they have different situations, you know, everybody.
Yeah.
Some have problem home, some have problem with drugs, just like me. Same thing I have in my childhood.
Yeah. That's very interesting what you said. It's not important what you tell them. It's important listening to them, because people who are maybe in these situations, they don't feel heard. So that's something I didn't think about. So that very smart, very wise.
I think the most important is to listen, absolutely, because all that, you know, we think we have the answer for the young ones, but we don't have that. So, but if we should give them advice, then we have to listen to them, so we can give some good advices.
Yeah.
I think.
One more thing I wanted to ask is I read, I think, an article that you wrote about social media, and or someone wrote it on you about how Facebook was overwhelming to you, and you deleted it, and you felt really good, and then many days later you thought, oh, I needed to work on my social media, and my mother called me and thought something was wrong, and I'd love to hear some of your thoughts on social media, because people think only kids, you know, deal with the issues with social media, but you know, everyone does now.
Yeah, everyone, and I'm not so proud of that. You know, I'm an old-fashioned guy. Really. I've been always I like technology. I've been there, you know, from DOS time. I was programming. I like this thing.
Yeah.
So I was okay. I go into Facebook for 15 years ago, but when Snapchat and all the other things coming, I was stopped there, you know. And I'm not using Facebook really much, but I could take myself that I was sitting on the toilet with telephone and Facebook, you know, there. So this kind of you get addicted of it, not always, maybe just you don't think about it, you know.
Yeah.
You just,
Oh yeah.
and I was tired of everything on Facebook, and when you first started here, I was really tired of all this Trump stuff. Really, I was tired of that. I was tired of also in Norway, you know, is a lot of people supporting Trump and a lot of people who don't.
Yeah.
And they write, and you know, these comments is not good, you know, it's really a big aggression.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And even with my friends around me, is, you know, people that I thought maybe have think about another thing, they are really angry and they write so much stupid thing, you know. So I was tired of all the Facebook. So I think, okay, and one of my bosses, he delete the Facebook and say, oh, my life is so much better. So I thought the same. So I do that. But you know, the first in the morning was my mom. She called me and say, are you ill? What's happened with you? Are you ill? So what? Yeah, you're not on Facebook. Say, okay. So all the picture of us is away. Because when we take picture, you know, all these years we have, of course, tag her, and now she don't see this picture.
Yeah.
That was first telephone this morning, and I get a lot of telephone these days, you know, from people, of course. What's happened with you and Bodil, my girlfriend? If something happened, you know, lot of things. I was much conspiracy theories, you know, about what's happened is over with them, or is what's happened with him, is in prison, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So after 2 days, and also with my jobs, you know, I have administration for this. We'll put in the Facebook all these things in jobs, and I don't think about that when I delete my account, and I also delete the possibility to administrate on other sites.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And especially my mother, when my mother said, "Where's all the pictures?" Said, okay, I think, but I get a good. But I don't have Facebook on my telephone anymore.
Yeah.
I take away this app. then you don't need to delete your account.
Hmm.
So now I use Facebook on my office when there's something happen, and sometimes, of course, I do things, but not so much anymore.
Yeah.
So delete the app from the phone was the thing to do.
That's
But it's not so easy because you get kind of addicted to this, and the young people today, that's crazy, really crazy, you know. I think you are a lot on those telephones.
yeah. I'm addicted to my phone.
Yeah, yeah.
And social media. I'm very addicted. Yeah.
All the people are that.
Yeah.
All the young people, they talk to each other. They're sitting like us, and they talk to each other with, you know, with the telephone. So I'm really happy that I could be in a time where we don't have this thing, you know. So I think I'm the last generation. Maybe your father and I is one of them. But I understand. You know, I think it's very important that we learn to use this because it's really powerful, you know.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of time. So I hope we can use the time on other things too.
Yeah. 100%. I don't need to take much of your time, but I really appreciate you coming to meet me. Thank you so much.
I'm very happy that you take the time to, and this was a really nice one. I'm not so good to speak English, but I think I will be better.
No, his English is perfect.
I was drug addict because of this, you know.
But yeah, thank you so much. I just wanted to thank you again. Thank you.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I kind of wanted to do a little debrief as well on Trond Henriksen after the interview, because immediately after the interview, it wasn't like we just left either. No, this was the day before Sutnamai, or close to. I can't remember if it was the day after, but yeah, we ended up chatting with him and one of his coworkers, because immediately after the interview, he was prepping for another big event. Yeah, man, that was really cool. I mean, being able to see him in and outside of the interview scene, he was so down to earth. I mean, really just a guy who, you know, learned love and definitely learned compassion. And I could just tell that he has always been a person who can do anything he puts his mind to. I mean, being able to steal cars in, you know, a record of 13 seconds, going in and out of jail and continuing to learn and get into many different things, while also, you know, trying to, you know, combat injustices, was pretty cool. And I was able to connect with my cousins after, days after, and they knew who it was. They're like, oh, you interviewed him for YouTube? They're like, yeah, he spoke at our school. And their English is really good. And I remember them telling me a bunch of other like tidbit stuff that he stated in his speech, because he would go around to schools and just encourage, you know, why education is important, why getting into hard drugs is bad, and, you know, why staying in school is important. And yeah, they were able to share a lot of stuff that, you know, maybe got lost in the translation during the interview. One of the big things that we talked about after the interview was Trond said, yeah, I make YouTube videos too. And he ended up showing us his YouTube channel. He ended up showing us his YouTube channel, and he makes electronic music, and not just specifically electronic music, but under that umbrella, he makes house music. So I listened to, like, I don't know, 5 seconds when I pulled up his YouTube. I think as people who make content, it's always a little embarrassing when someone's like, oh, you do YouTube? What is it? Let me look it up. Let me watch click a video and watch it right in front of you. That's something that I always like am like not embarrassed by, but it's just you get this weird feeling. I don't know. I'm sure all you content creators can relate to that. But anyway, he's like, yeah, that one's not, you know, it's not the best or whatever. And then we ended up talking. I ended up clicking out of it. I listened to like 3 seconds. And yeah, I'm gonna play some for you guys, but the music that you've heard in the background of the intro for this video is music that Trond has composed and created. He makes really cool electronic tracks. I'm gonna put his YouTube channel in the description, so please check it out if you're interested. He also posts some other stuff. There's a reenactment of one of his biggest crimes that he committed, which was kidnapping a police officer, and it's actually him younger. I didn't translate the whole video from Norwegian to English, but just from the little bit that I watched and I, you know, read, it's a reenactment. So, I mean, he's been pretty prestigious in Norway for some times, especially since the 70s. Anyway, I'm gonna play a little outro of his music. Please check it out in the description. You know, You know, if you check it out and you like it, you know, maybe comment, you know, 612 Unscripted sent you here. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe. It was a lot of effort. It was a lot of effort, like I said in the intro. I mean, it took a lot of time. And I think it was pretty interesting. And if you're able to kind of get past the 4-minute hump of the, you know, the introduction or maybe the nerves that, you know, Trond or I had, it gets really into some gnarly stuff. So, you know, hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, I'll see you next week. 612 Unscripted.